Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Chris Hoff with the Hoff Consulting Group, and I thought I'd make a quick video on storytelling in organizations in the midst of COVID-19. David Boji at New Mexico State University writes a ton about storytelling in organizations, describes organizations as storytelling systems in which the performance of stories is the tool for making sense of our organizational lives, creating a deeper and can create a deeper meaning, purpose, and power in the work that we do. So needless to say, effective storytelling provides distinct advantages for organizations and leaders who do it well. And I know there's been a ton of literature about storytelling in organizations, but what I think has been missing is just like for the novice to storytelling or narrative in organizations, how do you do it? How do you take a step into crafting stories within your organizations? So I thought I would share one way, just one simple way of maybe thinking about it. And here you have what is arguably our dominant problem story of the time, and that is COVID-19. And the way problem stories work is that they often blind us to any other considerations that stand outside of problem stories, right? Or in narrative talk, subjugate potential alternatives to the problem story. So here you have a dominant storyline of COVID-19. We're all experiencing it in our lives and in our work and in our workplaces. But narrative practitioners or leaders that are familiar with storytelling know that even in the midst of this problem stories, there lies unique outcomes or exceptions to the problem story. And one way of mining these unique outcomes or exceptions to problem stories, one way we're doing it with California Family Institute, a community counseling practice in Southern California, is by starting all staff meetings with a question. And for example, today's question was, what's the most important thing you learned about yourself in the last several weeks, facing COVID-19? And we ask those questions at the beginning of staff meetings for several reasons, not just storytelling reasons, but one reason being it's a way of connecting people in the midst of Zoom and the televideo stuff, keeping people close and updated with each other. It creates psychological safety in teams and in groups and in workplaces, but it also is a way of mining exceptions to whatever the problem story that's going on today, like COVID-19. And so what we began to experience today was exceptions or unique outcomes when we asked what did people have learned most about themselves in the midst of this pandemic over the last several weeks. And we started to hear, and so what you do is you begin to link these exceptions across time according to a theme or plot. So as a leader, we might name this emerging theme as resiliency. We heard multiple stories of resiliency or moments of experiencing themselves as resilient. And we would mark these moments and create a theme across resiliency across time. And so we can begin to craft a story of our team as resilient in the midst of COVID-19, right? And the goal isn't to actually do away with this problem story. I think we're all going to be facing this dominant story in our lives and in our workplaces for a little while longer now. But what we are crafting is alternative stories that can stand up to the problem story, right? And then we can do that again. Example of a question we asked a couple weeks ago was, when are you at your best in the midst of this? And then you hear stories of possibility and new learnings. So you might name that story, that theme, new learnings in the midst of COVID-19, right? And so as a leader or a manager or whatever, as an organization, you can begin to craft alternative stories to the dominant story that we're facing today. So I hope that was helpful. And as always, and if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Be happy to answer them, but I want to say thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Chris Hoff with the Hoff Consulting Group, and I wish you good storytelling in the midst of our times. Thanks.